Every Sunday, we gather by the fire and let the dark speak for itself. These are the stories people don't share in daylight. Welcome to Sunday Stories from Beyond the Pines.
Jake drummed his fingers on the wheel as they rolled past another set of dark pines. "My back's never gonna forgive me for carrying that dresser," he said. "Swear it was made out of concrete." Lily smirked. "You carried it wrong. I told you to lift with your legs. You lifted with whatever those things are." She squinted at his arms. "Noodle attachments." Jake shook his head. "You're lucky I love you. Otherwise, I'd leave your noodle-insulting self on the side of the road." They both laughed. Real, easy laughter. The kind that comes after a long day of working together. Lily tucked her hair behind her ear. "Still can't believe Anna needed all that stuff moved at once. She could have called movers." Jake shrugged. "Why pay someone when you have two loyal friends?" He glanced at Lily with a tiny grin. "And by loyal, I mean easily manipulated with free pizza." "Hey," Lily said, nudging his arm. "Pizza is a valid form of payment." She paused, eyes drifting to the dark window. "She had a lot of nice things." Jake lifted a brow. "Yeah, well, her inheritance paid for half that house. I'd buy nice stuff too if I suddenly had 6 zeros in my account." "7," Lily corrected softly. Jake looked over, surprised. "How do you know that?" "She told me," Lily said quickly, "today, when you were outside getting the dolly." She shifted in her seat. "Said she had a lot of nice things." Jake lifted a brow. "Yeah, well, her inheritance paid for half that house. I'd buy nice stuff too if I suddenly had 6 zeros in my account." "7," Lily corrected softly. Jake looked over, surprised. "How do you know that?" "She told me," Lily said quickly. "Today, when you were outside getting the dolly." She shifted in her seat. "Said she hadn't figured out what to do with it yet." Jake refocused on the road. "Must be nice," he muttered. "Money like that, you'd never have to worry again." Lily pulled her sleeves over her hands, curling into her seat. After a moment, she looked back at him with a small smile. "Anyway, we survived the day, and no more furniture. I'm calling that a win." Jake returned the smile, though his jaw tightened a little. "Yeah," he said, "a win." They hit the turnoff for County Road K a few minutes later. The pavement narrowed, and the trees on either side grew tall enough to form a shadowed tunnel ahead of them. Jake turned down the radio as static began creeping into the music. "Told you," he said. "Signal dies out here." Lily leaned forward to look at the faint stretch of reflectors. "Feels later than it is," she murmured, "like the road shouldn't still be this empty." Jake shrugged. "It's Monday. Normal people are asleep." He glanced at her. "We should be too, but someone insisted we finish the bookshelves." Lily gave him a look. "I insisted. You're the one who said we couldn't leave things half done." Jake smirked. "Well, we didn't. Everything's sorted now." Lily nodded, but her face tightened in a way Jake caught and didn't mention. They drove in silence for a moment. Pine branches swayed in the breeze, brushing together in uneven rhythm. Lily shifted and pulled her knees up slightly. "Jake?" she asked quietly. "Yeah?" "Did you lock the back door at Anna's place?" Jake's grip on the wheel tightened before he let out a breath. "Yeah, I did. Why?" "No reason," she said quickly. "Just thought I heard it shut on its own when we left." Jake let out a soft laugh. "Old houses do that. She told me the wind kicks it sometimes." Lily didn't look convinced, but she didn't press it. She reached behind her seat and adjusted one of the moving blankets that had slipped earlier. "This thing keeps sliding," she said. "Should have shoved it in the trunk." Jake flicked his eyes toward the rearview mirror and then back to the road. "It's fine," he said, almost too fast. "Just leave it." They crested a small rise in the road, and the forest opened just long enough to reveal a thin strip of sky. The moon was barely giving off any light, but Jake still glanced up at it. "We should have stayed and crashed on Anna's couch," he said. Would have saved us the gas money. Lily sighed. We couldn't, Jake. You know why. Jake nodded once. Yeah, I know. Lily tapped her foot lightly against the floorboard. I keep thinking about her face today, she said quietly. Jake's posture tightened. What about it? I don't know, Lily said. She just seemed off, like something was bothering her. You noticed that, right? Jake took a breath. Everyone looks tired when they're packing up a house. Lily watched him for a moment, like she wanted to ask something else. Jake cut in with a small laugh. Hey, remember when she made us carry that antique mirror? Lily groaned. That thing had to weigh 80 pounds. Minimum, Jake said, and she kept saying, be careful with it, like we were going to drop her heirloom. Lily looked down. She didn't have much family left. Jake nodded, eyes on the road. Which is why the inheritance hit her like it did, he said. Huge responsibility, a lot to figure out. Lily wrapped her arms around herself. Yeah, she whispered, a lot. The radio popped with a faint burst of static, and Jake adjusted the dial, even though it didn't need it. Just bad towers, he muttered. This stretch always sucks. Lily adjusted the heater vent toward her hands. You think she really would have stayed in that house alone? She asked. All that space, all that money. I don't know. It just felt like too much for one person. Jake shrugged. People figure it out. She would have too. Lily hesitated. Yeah, maybe. Her voice thinned at the end. Jake clicked his tongue. She trusted us, he said. Not a lot of people do that. Letting us in her place like that? Handing us keys? Telling us where she kept everything? Lily's eyes flicked toward him. You make it sound bad. I'm just saying she didn't treat us like hired help, Jake said. She shouldn't have, Lily whispered. The car rolled over a dip in the pavement, and something shifted softly in the back seat. Lily stiffened. Jake, she said, I think the blanket moved again. Jake didn't look back. It's just from the bump. It wasn't a big bump, Lily said. Just leave it, Jake muttered. It's fine. They drove in silence. Then Lily turned toward him. Do you ever think about it? Jake's hands tightened on the wheel. About what? About today. About how fast everything happened. Jake kept his eyes on the road. We're not talking about that out here. Lily turned her face toward the window. I keep replaying everything, she said. Her asking us to stay for dinner. Her looking nervous. The way she kept checking the hallway like she expected someone else to show up. Jake's jaw tightened. She was overwhelmed. Big day. Big changes. Lily shook her head. It felt like more than that. Jake didn't respond. The radio faded into another layer of static as the road dipped into thicker trees. Lily looked at the display. We should have stayed longer, she said. We rushed her. Jake glanced at her. We stayed all day. We did everything she asked. That's not what I meant, Lily said quietly. Jake gripped the wheel harder. Then don't say it. The road curved left, and the headlights swept across a shallow ditch. Lily leaned closer. Jake, slow down. He eased off the gas. What? There's someone there, she whispered. A woman stood ankle-deep in the grass, body half-turned toward the trees, long hair hanging loose. She didn't move or react as the car approached. Jake's breath caught. What the hell? Lily pressed her palm to the glass. Is she hurt? Jake steered slightly right. She's not flagging us down, he said. She's not even looking at us. Lily swallowed. Jake, she looks like... Don't, he snapped as they passed her. Lily twisted in her seat to watch the woman disappear into the darkness. Jake, she didn't move. Not even a blink. Jake kept his eyes forward. Some people freeze up. Maybe she's drunk. Maybe she's waiting for someone to pick her up. At 1 in the morning? Out here? Lily asked. Jake exhaled. I said maybe. The radio crackled again, a sharp pop of static that made Lily flinch. The music cut out for a second and was replaced by a low hum. Jake tapped the dial. Stupid reception. Should have downloaded a playlist. The hum deepened in a way that didn't match the car's movement. "Jake, that wasn't static," Lily whispered. "What do you think it was?" he asked. "I don't know," she said, "but it started the second we passed her." Jake shook his head. Coincidence. The radio flickered again, with a thin burst of noise that sounded almost like a breath. Lily reached out and turned the volume down, but the sound didn't fade. It stayed steady for a moment before stopping. Jake tightened his grip on the wheel. "We're not stopping," he said quietly. "We're not turning around." Lily nodded, though her eyes stayed on the rearview mirror. "I don't want to go back," she whispered. The road narrowed again, and Jake eased toward the center line. The pines closed in on both sides, their branches creating long shadows across the pavement. Lily rubbed her arms. "Do you think someone dropped her off?" she asked. "Maybe," Jake said. "But she wasn't facing the road," Lily said. "She was looking into the trees." Jake didn't respond. The radio hissed again, a faint scrape like a slow breath. Jake hovered his hand over the dial. "If this keeps up, I'm just turning it off," he said. Lily nodded, watching the display. "It didn't sound like static," she whispered. Jake forced a small laugh. "Everything sounds weird when you're tired." Lily shot him a look. "Jake, I'm serious." "I know, I'm not jumping to ghosts on the side of the road." "That's not what I'm saying," she replied. "Something about her didn't feel right." Jake stared ahead. "A lot of things didn't feel right today." Lily went quiet. They rounded another curve. The radio went silent for half a second before a single crackle popped through the speakers. Then a faint click followed, like someone pressing a walkie-talkie button. Jake's breath caught. "Did you hear that?" Lily nodded. "That sounded like someone trying to talk." Jake turned the volume all the way down, but the faint hiss stayed exactly the same. Lily's eyes widened. "Jake, the volume's at 0. "I know," he said. He tapped the power button. The screen blinked off, but the hiss didn't stop. It sounded like it was coming from inside the dashboard instead of the speakers. Lily pressed back into her seat. "What is that?" Jake shook his head. "I have no idea." The hiss cut out for a moment. Then a soft click popped through the car, sharper and deliberate. Jake's arms tensed. "Someone's on a CB or something," he said, though he didn't sound convinced. "Why would a trucker be out here?" Lily asked. Jake didn't answer. Another click followed, closer. A voice came through, flat and calm. "Something slipped off your back seat." Lily froze. "Jake!" "It's a prank," Jake said. "It has to be a prank." The radio stayed silent after that. Lily's breathing picked up. "No one else is on this road," she whispered. "No one could know what's in our back seat." Jake's jaw tightened. "Don't react. Don't say anything." Lily swallowed. "Jake, what do they mean something slipped?" Jake didn't look at the blanket. The radio stayed quiet for a few seconds, as if the voice were waiting. Jake kept both hands locked on the wheel. Lily lowered her hand from her mouth. "Jake, what if they can see us?" "They can't," he said. "There's no one out here." "But the radio's off," Lily whispered. "And it's still—" "I know," Jake said sharply, then softened. "Just don't panic." A second click came through the speakers. Then the voice returned in the same calm tone. "You didn't check under it before you left." Lily's breath caught. "Jake!" "Don't answer it," Jake said. The voice paused. "Why didn't you check?" Jake's grip tightened on the wheel. Lily pressed back into her seat. "Jake, this isn't a prank. No one could know that." "The blanket slid earlier," Jake said. "Anyone could have seen it." "No one saw it," Lily said. "We were inside. No one was there." Jake swallowed. "Then someone followed us." The voice clicked on again. "You walked past the door without checking it." Lily's voice broke. "Jake." The voice continued, steady and cold. "You left in a hurry. Why?" Lily grabbed his arm. "Jake, make it stop." He didn't touch the radio. The car moved deeper into the forest, the trees forming a tunnel around the road. Lily's fingers shook against her seatbelt. "Jake, what if it knows what's in the back?" Jake kept his eyes ahead. "It doesn't," he said, though his voice didn't match his words. "It's just interference, someone messing with a radio." "That wasn't someone messing around," Lily whispered. A faint exhale came through the speakers, slow, human. Lily's hand flew to her mouth. "Oh my God!" Jake shook his head. "No, that could be anything. Wind, feedback." "There aren't towers out here," Lily said. "Then it's coming from a car," Jake said. "There is no other car," Lily whispered. The voice clicked on again. "Why did you leave so fast?" Lily's eyes filled. "Jake, it's talking about Anna's house." "Don't say her name," Jake said through clenched teeth. "Why?" she asked. "Because it shouldn't know it," Jake said. "And the more we talk, the more we give it." The voice returned, quiet and flat. "She asked you to stay." Lily's breath hitched. "Jake, that's what she said before." "Stop," Jake said sharply. "Don't give it anything." Lily covered her face. The voice clicked again. She didn't want to be alone. Jake pressed his thumb into the steering wheel, the leather creaking under the pressure. "It doesn't know anything," he said, though his voice shook. Lily wiped her eyes. "Jake, it knew we left fast. It knew we didn't check the blanket." "Coincidence," Jake said. "Someone's picking up signals." "Then why does it sound like it's talking about her?" Lily asked. Jake didn't answer. The silence thickened until the tar felt too small. Lily hugged her arms. "I didn't even hear her go back down the hallway," she whispered. "1 second she was in the kitchen, and then—" "We're not doing this in the car," Jake said sharply. "But Jake—" "Not here." The radio popped again, like a mic being keyed. Jake's shoulders tensed. Lily pressed back. "It's going to say something," she whispered. "Let it," Jake said. "Let it?" "We aren't reacting anymore. That's what it wants." He didn't sound convinced. The voice returned, softer. "You didn't ask her why she was scared." Lily's breath broke. "Jake!" "Don't listen," Jake whispered. The radio clicked again. She asked for help. Lily covered her mouth, sobbing. "Turn it off," she begged. Jake reached for the radio, then froze halfway. Jake left his hand hovering over the radio before slowly pulling it back. "If I turn it off again and it keeps talking—" He didn't finish. Lily lowered her hands. "Jake, it already keeps talking." "No," he said, "not unless we react." "Jake, it's not waiting on us," Lily whispered. "It's following us." The car went over a dip, and something slid softly in the back seat. Lily flinched. "Jake!" "I heard it," he said quickly. "What if it's not the blanket?" she whispered. "Don't start," Jake snapped. "I'm not trying to," Lily said, "but something's back there." "Don't say that," Jake said, his voice cracking. A thin, metallic tone filtered through the speakers. Then the voice returned. You left her alone. Lily grabbed Jake's arm. Jake, it's talking about Anna. Jake's jaw tightened. It doesn't know anything. He's guessing. The voice clicked again. It wasn't guessing. Lily gasped, crying softly. Jake's eyes glistened in the dashboard light. Don't listen to it, he said. Jake, how does it know she was alone? We're not talking about her anymore, Jake said. The voice responded immediately. You didn't talk to her then either. The radio clicked again, softer this time, and the voice returned with the same calm tone. She told you to leave. Lily's head lifted. Jake, that's what she said after you two argued. It's coincidence, Jake said quietly. She asked us both to go, Lily said. Don't pretend she didn't. Jake tightened his grip on the wheel. Lily, we talked about this. She was upset. Upset because of you, Lily said, because of whatever history you two had that you were going to tell me about. Jake winced. I was trying to find the right moment. The right moment passed years ago, Lily said. The radio keyed again. You argued in the kitchen. Lily froze. Jake, that's exactly where you were. Jake shook his head. Lots of people argue in kitchens. It's not specific. She was crying, Lily said, and you wouldn't tell me why. Jake opened his mouth but didn't speak. The voice returned, calm as ever. She asked him to tell you the truth. Lily's breath caught. Jake, is that true? Jake stared straight ahead. The radio clicked once more. She didn't want to lose you. Lily sat forward, hands tightening in her lap. Jake, I'm asking you a question. Did she ask you to tell me the truth? Jake gripped the wheel until his knuckles turned white. Lily, this isn't the time. When is the time? Lily said. You said you'd tell me after the move, and then she threw us out like we did something wrong. Jake didn't answer. The radio clicked. She didn't want to argue anymore. Lily swallowed. Jake, that sounds like something she would say. It's just repeating what you're thinking about, Jake said. It's not real. How does it know what was said in that kitchen? Lily asked. Jake blinked hard. I didn't tell it anything. I didn't tell anyone. Anyone? Lily said. Who else would you even talk to about this? Jake didn't respond, breathing faster. Jake, Lily whispered, what happened in there after I left the room? The voice returned, steady and calm. She said she forgave him. Lily's eyes widened. She said that? Don't listen to it, Jake said quietly. Jake, that's exactly how she would have talked, Lily said. The radio clicked once more and went quiet. Lily tried to steady her breathing. Jake, maybe this isn't about Anna at all, she whispered. Maybe it's about that woman. Jake grabbed onto the idea. Yeah, someone around here knows this stretch of road. Has nothing to do with us. Lily nodded, though her eyes stayed wide. Right, just someone messing around. Local weirdness, Jake said quietly. The radio clicked. The voice came through calm and steady. Once you've seen her, she doesn't forget you. Lily's face went pale. Jake swallowed. Jesus. She follows light, the voice continued. You brought her out. A faint scraping came through the speakers, like gravel shifting. Then the voice returned. People think she needs help. That's the mistake. Lily grabbed Jake's arm. Jake, what is it talking about? I don't know, Jake said. The voice added, if she turns toward you, it's already too late. The radio clicked again. She moved after you passed. Lily's breath caught. Jake, is she behind us? Don't turn around, Jake said. You won't see her until she wants you to, the voice replied. Lily covered her mouth. Jake didn't speak. Lily wiped her cheeks with trembling fingers. Jake, If she moved, how would the voice even know that? Jake kept his eyes on the road. Trail cam? Security camera? Someone watching the road? I don't know. Lily shook her head. No, that didn't sound like someone guessing. We're not turning around, Jake said. The radio clicked once. You passed her too close. Lily flinched. Jake, we were in the middle of the lane. Then it's lying, Jake said, though his voice shook. She reached for your door, the voice continued. Jake's breath caught. Don't listen to it. Lily clutched her seatbelt. Jake, what if she really did move? What if she's on the road now? We didn't see anything, Jake said. We didn't look, Lily said sharply. The radio clicked. Most people see her twice. Lily froze. What does that mean? It means nothing, Jake said. The voice returned. She's closer the second time. Lily covered her mouth. Jake, please tell me that's not real. Jake didn't speak. The radio clicked once more and went still. Jake leaned forward, eyes narrowed at the trees ahead. If she moved, she's behind us. She can't be ahead. Lily shook her head. Jake, we didn't see her until we were right on top of her. Jake tightened his grip on the wheel. That was different. How? Lily asked. Jake didn't answer. The radio clicked once. She doesn't stay where you left her. Lily stared through the windshield. Jake, please slow down. No, Jake said. If anything, we should be going faster. Speed won't help you, the voice said. Someone's messing with us, Jake muttered. Lily looked at the side window, her breath fogging the glass. Jake, what if she cut through the woods? Jake didn't respond. The radio crackled. She knows the path better than you do. Lily covered her mouth. Jake! Stop, he whispered. The car dipped over a culvert and the headlights bounced. The tree line seemed to shift for a moment. Lily grabbed his arm. Did you see that? It was just the car moving, Jake said. Jake, if she's ahead of us. Don't say it. The radio clicked once. She's closer now. Lily leaned forward, squinting into the beam of the headlights like she could force the road to make sense. Jake, what if she walked straight across? We wouldn't see her until she's right there. Jake shook his head hard. No, she'd have to cross the ditch, climb the embankment. There's no way she'd be that fast. Lily swallowed. Then why would the voice say she's closer? Jake didn't answer. His breathing picked up. The radio clicked once. Then the voice came back. She crosses without sound. Lily's nails dug into her palms. Jake, I don't like this. It's trying to scare us, Jake said. Nothing crosses a ditch without making noise. The voice responded immediately. She does. Jake flinched at the certainty. A patch of the tree line ahead looked darker than the rest, like the shadows had thickened in one spot. Lily's eyes locked onto it. Jake, what is that? Nothing, Jake said, but his voice was thin. It looks like someone's standing there, Lily whispered. Jake blinked hard. It's a tree. It's just a tree. The radio clicked again. She waits for the headlights. Lily pressed her back into the seat. Jake, please, slow down. Jake kept the speed steady. If she's ahead, slowing down makes it worse. Lily looked at him, terrified. Worse how? Jake didn't answer. The radio filled the silence. She likes when cars stop. Lily grabbed his arm. Jake, do not stop this car. Jake nodded once, jaw clenched. Lily stared through the windshield as the road curved right. Jake, look. I'm watching the road, Jake said. Tell me what you think you saw. I thought something stepped back into the trees, Lily said. Or the shadows shifted, Jake said. That happens. The radio clicked once. She moves when the light turns. Lily gripped the door handle. "Jake, that's when the headlights swung over the bend." "Someone out here is watching the road," Jake said. "That's all." "You're not the only car she's followed," the voice replied. Jake's jaw tightened. "Enough. It's trying to get in our heads." "Jake, what if people have seen her before?" Lily asked. Jake held the wheel tighter. Then they kept driving. "They didn't all keep driving," the voice said. Lily closed her eyes. "Jake, please don't slow down." A dark shape sat on the shoulder ahead. Lily gasped. "Jake, what is that?" "Probably a mailbox or a signpost," Jake said. The shape didn't move as the headlights drew closer. "That's not a signpost," Lily whispered. The radio clicked once. "You're going to see her again." Jake kept his eyes on the road. "It was nothing," he said, though his voice wasn't steady. Lily shook her head. "Jake, that shape wasn't a mailbox." Jake gripped the wheel tighter. "Shadows look like anything this late." "Then why did the radio say we'd see her again?" Lily asked. The road opened into a long, straight stretch. Jake leaned forward, scanning the dark. Lily grabbed his arm. "There!" A figure walked across the road far ahead, moving from one side of the trees to the other without looking toward the car. Lily whispered, "Jake, that's her." Jake pressed down on the gas. "We're done with this road. First place with lights, we're pulling in." "There's nothing out here," Lily said. "No houses, nothing." "There has to be something," Jake said. "A sign, a store, something." The radio clicked once. "You waited too long." Jake didn't respond. He kept driving, eyes locked ahead. Lily leaned forward. "Jake, I see something." A dim glow showed above the tree line, a gas station sign flickering in the distance. Jake let out a shaky breath. "That's it. We're going there." The radio spoke again. "She knows that place." The gas station came into view around the last bend. One pump, a faded canopy, and a row of buzzing lights. Jake slowed enough to turn into the lot. Lily covered her face with both hands. "Thank God! Jake, keep the doors locked." "I will," he said. Jake parked close to the front door under the lights. The empty lot made the building feel small. Lily stared at the trees behind the station. "Do you think she followed us?" "No," Jake said. "We're off the road now." He didn't sound sure. Lily unbuckled her seatbelt. "I don't want to go in alone." "You're not," Jake said. He checked the mirrors twice. Nothing moved. "Let's just get inside," he said. "We'll talk to someone." They got out quickly and stayed close as they crossed to the door. The bell above it chimed as they stepped inside. Warm air, old coffee, a humming soda cooler. A clerk stood behind the counter and looked up at them. "You two all right?" Jake stepped up to the counter. "We just came off County Road 7, he said. "Something was out there." The clerk set his phone down. "Yeah? Deer?" Lily shook her head. It wasn't a deer. The clerk raised an eyebrow. "All right, what was it?" "It was a woman," Jake said, "standing on the side of the road." The clerk's expression shifted, like he recognized the description. Lily watched him closely. "You know something about that, don't you?" He didn't answer right away. He finally nodded once. "People talk about seeing someone out there. Same stretch of trees every time." Jake swallowed. "Does she move?" "Depends who you ask," the clerk said. "Some say she walks. Some say she just stands there." Lily looked at the door. "She crossed the road, right in front of us." The clerk let out a slow breath. "Yeah, I've heard that one too." Jake stepped closer. "What is she? A missing person?" "Don't know," the clerk said. "Folks just call her the woman on 7." Lily hugged her arms. "We need someone to come out here. Can you call the cops?" The clerk picked up the phone and called the sheriff's office. He gave the address and a quick summary, then hung up. "They're sending someone," he said. "Shouldn't be long." Lily rubbed her arms. "Good, I don't want to go back out there." "You won't have to," the clerk said. A few minutes later, headlights pulled into the lot. A county SUV parked beside their car, and a deputy stepped out. Mid-40s, tired eyes. He walked inside. "Evening, I'm Deputy Harris. Who called this in?" Jake raised his hand. "We did." Harris looked them over. "Clerk said you saw someone on the road." Jake nodded. "A woman, standing on the shoulder, then later she walked across the road." "She didn't react to our headlights," Lily said. "Not at all." Harris wrote something down. "Could have been someone drunk." Jake shook his head. "No, she wasn't drunk. She didn't move like that." Harris glanced up. "All right, describe her." Jake hesitated. "We didn't see her face. She never turned toward us." "She wasn't walking like a normal person," Lily said. Harris sighed. "Okay, let's take a look outside." Harris lifted the radio. "Dispatch, this is Harris at the Cedar Ridge station. 2 people reporting a possible pedestrian on 7. I'm checking the lot cameras first." He waited. Only static came back. He tapped the side of the radio. "You hearing that?" Jake nodded. "Ours did the same thing." Harris tried again. "Dispatch, come in." The radio crackled longer this time, like something was trying to push through the noise. Lily moved closer to Jake. "Jake, that doesn't sound right." Harris lowered the radio a little. Jake said quietly, "That's the same sound we heard before the voice came on." Harris pressed the button again. "Dispatch, respond." A faint hiss came through the speaker, followed by a short, broken tone. Harris shook his head. Repeater must be acting up again. Lily whispered, "Jake, it's the same crackle." Harris turned toward the edge of the lot. "Stay here, I'm checking the side cameras." He walked toward the back corner of the building with the radio in his hand. The speaker let out a sharper burst of static as he moved. Lily grabbed Jake's sleeve. "Jake, it's starting again." Jake watched the radio in Harris's hand without blinking. Harris reached the corner of the building and checked the cameras. Jake and Lily stayed near the door watching him. The radio on Harris's belt gave another burst of static, louder this time. Harris stopped walking. Lily whispered, "Jake, that's the same sound." Jake kept his eyes on the radio. Harris lifted it. "Dispatch, do you copy?" A long, uneven crackle filled the speaker, followed by a tone and silence. He tried again. "Dispatch, come in. I need confirmation on—" The radio cut him off with a low hiss, like someone breathing into it. Lily grabbed Jake's arm. "Jake, that's the same sound it made before it talked to us." Jake nodded. Harris pressed the button again. "Dispatch, if you hear me, respond." The crackle held this time, instead of fading. A soft sound pushed through it, shaped like words. Harris froze. The radio cleared for a half second. A calm voice came through. "Check the car." Lily covered her mouth. Jake stared at Harris. Harris looked back at them, the radio still in his hand. Harris lowered the radio. "Stay here," he said. He walked toward their car with his flashlight pointed at the ground. Jake moved closer to Lily. He heard the same voice. Lily shook. "Jake, what if something's in the car?" Harris reached the driver's side and shined the light along the windows. He cupped his hand against the glass and looked inside. He checked the front seats, then leaned in to see the back. He didn't say anything. Lily whispered, "Why isn't he talking?" "I don't know," Jake said. Harris moved to the passenger side and did the same check. Flashlight inside. A long look at the back seat. He stepped back, his face unreadable. "Deputy?" Jake called. "Do you see anything?" Harris didn't answer right away. He finally walked back toward them. "There's nothing in the car," Harris said, "front or back." Lily wiped her eyes. "Then why would it tell you to check it?" Harris glanced at the radio. "I don't know, but I'm not ignoring it." The radio stayed silent. Harris walked back to his SUV and opened the driver's door, he said. "I'm calling dispatch from the truck," he said. "If the handheld's acting up, the cabin unit should be clean." Jake nodded. "Okay." Lily stayed close to him, watching Harris climb inside. The SUV's interior lights blinked on, then off. Harris picked up the mounted radio. "Dispatch, this is Harris at Cedar Ridge Station. Do you copy?" Static came through. He tried again. "Dispatch, respond." Another short tone. Jake whispered, "It's doing the same thing." Harris adjusted the dial and leaned closer to the speaker. "Come on." The static changed. Jake and Lily froze. Lily whispered, "Jake, that's the same sound as before." Jake didn't answer. Harris pressed the mic. "Dispatch, if you can hear me." The radio cut him off. A calm voice pushed through the speaker. "Check the trunk." Lily covered her mouth. Jake stepped back from their car. Harris looked straight at them through the windshield. Harris stepped out of the SUV and shut the door. He kept one hand on his flashlight and the other near his radio. He walked toward Jake and Lily's car with his eyes on the trunk. Lily whispered, "Jake, I don't want him to open it." Jake didn't answer. Harris stopped at the back of the car. "Either of you opened this since you left the house?" he asked. Jake shook his head. "No, we didn't put anything back there." Harris nodded and reached for the latch. Lily grabbed Jake's arm. "Jake, don't let him." Harris lifted the trunk. The hinges creaked as it opened. He raised his flashlight and scanned inside. Jake held his breath. Lily didn't move. Harris leaned closer, checking the corners. He didn't react to anything inside. Harris finally stood up. "It's empty," he said. Jake let out a shaky breath. Lily didn't. Harris looked at him. "I don't know who's talking on that radio, but it's not dispatch." The radio on his belt crackled once and went quiet. Harris closed the trunk and stepped back. "All right, nothing in there, nothing on the doors, nothing that says you hit anybody." Jake looked at the radio on Harris's belt. What if it wasn't about hitting her? Harris stared at him. Then what was it about? Jake didn't answer. Lily took a shaky breath. "Deputy, whoever that was on your radio knew where we were. It knew what we saw. It knew what we didn't check." Harris looked down at the radio again. "It's possible someone's hijacking the channel," he said. "Scanner, prank, old equipment, could be anything." Lily shook her head. That voice wasn't a prank. Harris motioned for them to move toward the front of the station. "You're both shaken up. You've been on that road a long time. I'll run the stretch myself and see if anyone's walking around out there." Jake grabbed his arm. "Don't go alone." Harris said, "It's my job." Before Harris could take a step, the radio on his belt crackled again. One short burst, then another. Jake and Lily backed up without thinking. Harris watched the speaker. Static held in the background, thin and steady. Harris lifted the radio without touching the button. The static shifted. Lily grabbed Jake's sleeve. "Jake, that's the same tone." Jake kept his eyes on the radio. Harris tried again. "Dispatch, this is Harris. If you can hear me, give me a signal." There was no reply at first. Then a brief click. "That wasn't dispatch," Harris said. Jake's voice tightened. "Deputy, step back from the radio." The speaker let out a steady hiss. Jake and Lily froze. Harris held the radio away from his chest. The hiss broke once, like someone adjusting a mic. Lily whispered, "Jake, It's about to talk. The voice came through, calm and steady. She followed you. Jake stepped back. Lily covered her mouth. Harris tightened his grip on the radio. The voice added, "She's not done." The station door opened behind them. The clerk stepped halfway out with a paper cup. "Everything all right out here?" Jake didn't look back. "Stay inside." The clerk paused, watching Harris. "What's going on?" Harris kept his eyes on the radio. "Someone's on this channel who shouldn't be." The clerk stepped out a little further. "Is it that woman?" Lily turned. "You've heard about this before?" The clerk nodded once. "People say she follows cars sometimes. Never heard anything like this, though." Jake shook his head. "It's not her on the radio." Harris looked at Jake. "Then who is it?" Jake didn't answer. Lily squeezed his arm. Jake said quietly, "Whoever it is, they know too much." Harris studied him, then looked back toward the car. The radio crackled again, a short burst cutting through the lot. Jake and Lily jumped. Harris lowered his hand but didn't press the button. They all waited. Nothing else came through, just a steady background hiss. Harris stepped closer to the car with the radio in his hand. "If someone's messing with the channel, they're doing it on purpose," he said. Jake didn't respond. Lily held his sleeve. "Deputy, it's not a prank. Whoever it is knows exactly what we did out there." Harris looked at her. "What does that mean?" Lily didn't answer. Harris raised the radio. "If you're listening, say something useful." Nothing came at first. Then a short click. Harris frowned. "Is that yes?" Jake whispered, "It's answering you." Harris walked toward the car again. "If you've got information, then say it clearly." The radio crackled once, then again. A calm voice came through. "Inside the car." Lily shook her head. "No, we already checked." Jake stayed quiet. Harris opened the driver's door and leaned inside. He checked the seats again, then reached under them. Nothing at first. He checked the pockets and the floorboards. Jake watched him closely. Lily whispered, "Jake, it knows something. It knows we missed something." Harris reached farther under the driver's seat. His hand stopped on something. "Hold on," he said. Jake stiffened. Lily grabbed his arm. Harris pulled out a small object wrapped in lint and dirt. He wiped it off. It was a gold pendant on a broken chain. Harris held it up toward the station lights. "Either of you recognize this?" Lily stared at it. Jake didn't speak. Harris looked at both of them. "It was wedged under the seat, didn't fall there by accident." Jake said, "We don't know what that is." The clerk stepped closer to the doorway. "That looks like a woman's necklace." Lily said, "It's not ours." Harris kept the pendant in his hand. "It didn't crawl under the seat on its own. Someone put it there." Jake's hands shook. He shoved them into his pockets. Harris checked the broken clasp. This snapped clean, like it was pulled off. Jake looked down at the pavement. Lily whispered, "Jake." The radio in Harris's other hand crackled once, sharp and quick. Harris held the pendant in his palm and lifted the radio with his other hand. He didn't press the button. He waited. Lily stood frozen beside Jake. The static thinned out again. Harris said, "If you know whose this is, say it." Nothing happened at first. Then the radio clicked twice. Harris looked at Jake and Lily. "You're sure you've never seen this necklace before?" Jake shook his head but didn't speak. Lily stayed quiet. The radio opened with a soft hiss. A calm voice came through. It belonged to Anna. Lily's knees weakened. Jake closed his eyes. Harris looked at both of them. Harris stepped closer. "Who's Anna?" Jake didn't answer. Lily covered her mouth. Harris repeated, "Who is she?" The radio crackled once. "Ask them," the voice said. Harris looked at Jake. "You want to explain why that necklace was under your seat?" Jake shook his head. "I don't know how it got there." Harris turned to Lily. "And you?" Lily didn't answer. Her hand stayed over her mouth. Harris held up the pendant. "If this belongs to someone named Anna, I need to know who she is. Friend? Family?" Jake said tightly, "We don't know anyone by that name." The clerk stepped closer in the doorway. Lily whispered, "Jake, stop." Harris heard her. "Lily, who's Anna?" Lily shook her head. We don't." She couldn't finish. Jake glared at her. "Don't say anything." Harris kept his voice even. "I'm giving you both a chance to explain this." The radio crackled once. They all looked at it. A calm voice said, "Tell him what you did." Lily turned away, shaking. Jake went pale. Harris lowered the radio. "Both of you need to stop and tell me what's going on." Jake shook his head. "We didn't do anything." Lily kept her back turned. Harris stepped closer. "Then why is that voice saying you did?" Jake pointed at the radio. "Because someone's screwing with us." Harris said, "Someone who knows your names? And hers?" Jake didn't answer. Lily whispered, "Jake, please." Harris looked between them. "If Anna is hurt, I need to know right now." Jake's jaw tightened. "There is no Anna." Lily flinched. The clerk stepped further out the door. The radio crackled once, short and sharp. Jake stepped back. Harris watched Jake instead of the radio now. "Where did you two come from tonight?" he asked. Lily shut her eyes. Jake opened his mouth, then shut it. "We were visiting a friend," he said. Harris asked, "Name?" Jake hesitated. "Doesn't matter. She wasn't home." Lily's breathing got faster. Harris stepped closer. "What's her name?" Jake didn't answer. Lily whispered, "Jake, please don't do this." Harris said, "I'm not asking twice." Jake finally said, "Anna." Lily covered her face. The clerk froze in the doorway. Harris nodded. "So you do know her?" Jake tried to backtrack. "No, I mean, we haven't seen her in a long time." Harris said, "You just told me you were visiting her." Jake didn't respond. The radio crackled once, deliberate and quiet. Harris kept his eyes on Jake. "When was the last time you saw her?" Jake opened his mouth but didn't answer. Lily whispered, "Jake, please." Harris said, "I need a real answer." Jake finally said, "Earlier tonight." Lily let out a small sound. The clerk stepped fully outside, watching them. Harris nodded. "That's what I thought." Harris asked, "Why didn't you tell me that the first time I asked her name?" Jake rubbed the back of his neck. "Because this is getting twisted. We didn't do anything." Lily shook her head. "Jake, stop lying." Jake glared at her. "Don't." The radio crackled again, louder this time. Everyone froze. Harris held it, waiting. The static stayed steady for several seconds. The radio hissed once, then cleared. Harris held it up without pressing the button. Jake stared at it. Lily's breathing hitched. A calm voice said, "You left her." Jake stepped back. No, we didn't." Harris cut him off. "Left who?" Jake didn't answer. Lily wiped her face without looking up. Harris repeated, "Who did you leave?" The radio clicked once. The voice said, "Ask them where she is now." Harris looked at Jake. "Where is she?" Jake shook his head, unable to speak. Lily whispered, "We didn't mean to," then stopped. Jake turned toward her. "Don't say anything." Harris stepped between them. She started talking. She's finishing. The radio crackled again, sharp and brief. Lily shook her head, trying to hold back. Harris said, "Lily, look at me." She didn't. Jake said, "Don't talk to him. Don't say anything else." Lily whispered, "I can't keep lying." Harris stepped closer. "Lying about what?" Lily wiped her face. "We were with her tonight." Jake snapped, "Lily, stop." Harris kept his eyes on her. "What happened?" Lily looked up. "We argued, all three of us. She said things she shouldn't have said." Jake grabbed her arm. "Lily!" She pulled away. "You know what happened." Harris's face stayed steady. The radio hissed once. A calm voice said, "Tell him the rest." Lily backed away from Jake. Jake clenched his fists, panic in his eyes. Lily wiped her face. "She wasn't leaving because of the argument," she said. "She was leaving because of him." Harris looked at Jake. "What does that mean?" Lily kept her eyes down. "Jake and Anna used to be together." Jake snapped. "That was years ago." Lily said, "You still cared. Anyone could see it." Harris asked, "Is that why you went to her house tonight?" Lily nodded. "We were supposed to help her pack." Harris asked, "Pack for what?" Lily said quietly, "She inherited a lot of money last week. She was moving out, starting over." Jake shut his eyes. The clerk muttered from the doorway, "Jesus." Harris said, "What happened when you got there?" Lily answered, "She told me she didn't trust us. She said she knew Jake still loved her." Jake's jaw tightened. "Lily." Lily kept going. "I got angry. I grabbed her." Harris waited. Lily stared at the ground. "She tried to push past us. I wouldn't let her. Jake pulled me off. Anna slipped and hit the floor." Jake whispered, "It wasn't supposed to happen like that." Lily said, "We panicked." Harris asked, "Was she alive when you left the house?" Lily hesitated. "Yes." Jake looked away. Harris didn't move. Lily added, "But not when we carried her outside." Jake stepped forward. "It wasn't murder. We didn't plan anything. It was one bad moment. Just one." Lily whispered, "Jake, that's not true." Harris turned to her. "What's not true?" Lily swallowed. "We didn't leave because we panicked. We left because Jake said she'd take both of us down." The radio clicked once. A calm voice said, "Ask them where they put her." Lily broke down. Jake stepped back like he might run. Harris reached for his cuffs. Harris kept his hand near his cuffs. "Where is she?" Jake shook his head. "We didn't hurt her on purpose." Harris said, "That's not an answer." Lily sobbed into her hands. "Jake, tell him." Jake backed up a step. "We didn't know what to do. We didn't know who she told about the money." Harris moved with him. "Where is she?" Jake didn't look at Lily. Lily said, "Please, Jake, just tell him." Jake's breathing sped up. "We needed time to think, that's all. We just needed time." Harris kept his voice steady. "Where did you leave her?" Jake rubbed his face hard. "We didn't bury her. We didn't hide her. We just—" He stopped talking. Lily whispered, "The woods." Jake froze. Harris turned to her. "Where in the woods?" Lily pointed toward the road, off 7, past the old turnout. The radio clicked once. Harris stepped between Jake and Lily. "Both of you stay where you are." Jake held his hands halfway up, breathing hard. "We didn't plan any of this." Harris said, "You left a woman in the woods. That's all I need to know right now." Lily nodded. "She's still there." Harris tried his shoulder radio. "Dispatch, I need units to Cedar Ridge Station, possible homicide." Static came back. He tried again.
"Dispatch, respond." Nothing. Jake stared at the radio. Harris lowered it. "You're both staying here until backup gets here." Jake said, "We're not running." Lily whispered, "We should have called someone." Harris kept both of them in view. The radio in his hand crackled once. A calm voice said, "You're too late." Harris stiffened. Jake went pale. Lily covered her mouth as the radio went silent.
Harris lifted the radio. "Dispatch, this is Harris. If you can hear me, I need units now." Static filled the speaker. He changed channels and tried again. Same result. Jake whispered, "It's not letting you through." Harris ignored him. "Dispatch, I am requesting immediate response. Do you copy?" The radio stayed silent for several seconds. Then a single click came through. Lily whispered, "It's answering you." Harris didn't reply. The static thinned out again. Jake backed against the front of the station. Lily stared at the ground. Harris held the radio still, waiting. A calm voice said, "You'll find her." Harris stared at the speaker. The voice added, "But you won't find her alive." Lily sobbed. Jake closed his eyes.
Harris stepped toward them. "Turn around, both of you." Jake hesitated. "Deputy." "Now," Harris said. Jake turned. Lily followed, shaking. Harris cuffed them and checked their pockets. Harris walked them to the SUV. "You're coming with me. I'm not leaving you unsupervised." Jake muttered, "We're not running." "You're not getting the chance," Harris said. He opened the back door and put them inside. Harris grabbed his flashlight and his second radio from the front seat. Lily whispered, "Deputy, please don't go out there alone." Harris said, "Backup isn't answering." He shut the door on them. The handheld radio crackled once, sharp and clear. A calm voice said, "She's waiting." Harris paused, jaw tight. He climbed into the driver's seat and started the engine. Jake leaned forward in the cuffs, breathing fast.
Harris drove them back onto County Road 7 with his lights off. The radio crackled every few seconds. Jake and Lily sat handcuffed in the back seat, both shaking. Harris turned into the turnout Lily mentioned and stopped at the edge of the trees. "Show me where," he said. Lily nodded toward a narrow trail. Harris walked ahead with his flashlight while Jake and Lily watched through the SUV window. The beam moved through the brush until Harris stopped. Jake heard him mutter something under his breath. Lily closed her eyes. He found her. Harris knelt beside the body. Anna lay on her side where they left her, cold and still. He checked for any sign of breathing, then lowered his head. Next to her hand was a black handheld CB mic, torn from its cord, the wires frayed like it had been ripped loose. Harris picked it up carefully and looked back at the SUV. "Where did this come from?" he called. Jake shook his head. "We never touched anything like that." Lily started crying again. Harris pressed the mic's button. Nothing happened. He placed it into an evidence bag and looked around the ground. There was no CB unit nearby, just the microphone, torn loose and left in the dirt. Behind him, the radio on his shoulder crackled. Jake and Lily heard it inside the SUV. Harris lifted the radio slowly. He didn't press the button. The speaker opened on its own with a soft hiss. A calm voice said, "Now you see her." Harris didn't move. The voice added, "Now you understand." Jake slid down in the back seat, shaking. Lily covered her ears. The radio clicked off and stayed silent. Harris stood up and walked back to the SUV. He opened the door. "Both of you are under arrest." Jake didn't argue. Lily nodded, still shaking. The radio remained silent.